Hey guys, Walter Foot Racing here. I am the proud owner of not one Fiat 500, but we have two of them. We have a Prima, which is one of the first 500 that they made and sold here in the US. And then we have an Abarth, which is the turbo version. Well, this one here, this first of the first 500, is interesting. And actually the early 500s that were sold in the U.S. had some things that they changed soon after for the next. This is a 2012, and they went to 2013. They changed some things. I had to replace the front axles in this thing, and when you go to look for them, the CV joints and stuff, everything starts at 13. Well, that's because the 12 models had a different style, smaller design that they replaced in 13, so we had to have them rebuilt. Anyways, what I'm doing today is tag lights. And on the 2012s, the tag light connection point is a square / rectangle type arrangement. And when you look them up on everywhere, including at the auto parts store, they all start at 13 because in 13 they went to a round arrangement. Okay, still got the two prongs for the actual electrical connection, but a square connector on the 2012s. So I have a feeling that the Abarth is the same way too. So what I did was, after looking at some people on the interwebs who had mentioned the fact that this issue had arisen, and I couldn't find a listing for a 2012 tag light anywhere, some other people had just shoved the square plug into the round hole. So after trying to do that on mine here, I ended up taking a pair of these cutters, dikes some people call them, edge cutter, whatever, and cut off the part of the connector, and I'll show you that in a second as I take this other one apart and we put it together. And then it slid right in and lights right up and everything works fine. So let me pull the other one apart and I'll show you what I did. Another thing the Fiat people did, or Chrysler, when they assemble these, is they put like a shrink wrap type tubing over the connector where it slides in. So first you got to pry this thing off, which is kind of a pain in the butt, and then pull the connector out. So let me get that off here, and then I'll show you the mod I did to the plug to make the square one fit in the round hole. Not only did they put the shrink wrap stuff on here, there's some kind of white tape that's wrapped around the actual connection right in here. So I think they had a feeling they were going to have water issues. I've never seen anything quite like this, but I'll cut that off and get that out of the way, and then I'll show you what I did for the little modification to the. What I'm going to do is I'm going to see that little extra piece of, get my fingers out of the way, that little extra piece of plastic sticking up there. I'm going to clip it off with those cutters, and that'll allow this plug, or the male part, to slide into the female, so to speak, part. Okay, you can see there I cut it off, I clipped it off, and now it's out of the way, so it should slid right in. I also purchased a tube of dielectric grease to put in the connection to help keep some of the moisture out, and, make for a better connection. Anyways, so let me apply that grease, and we'll slide this thing together. With that tab cut off, it slides right into that round hole. That's not a problem at all. So I'm going to take the shrink wrap that they had on here and just slide it over the round part, and we'll put it back together, and I'll show you it all lit up. Alrighty, here, the big reveal. Hey, look at that, got tag lights. So it's worked. Just a little bit of modification. I noticed on the second one, when I cut off that tab, it slid into the two leads, I guess we'll call it, pretty easily. So if you probably trim that back a little less, I cut it all the way off. If you left a little bit more of it on, it'd cause some more resistance as it's sliding into the round hole, and probably keep it a little more in place. We'll see what happens over time. But anyways, I've got to go do this on the Abarth also, so it does work. So don't despair when you can't find the 2012 tag light bulbs. I went on to, I think it was Amazon, and I ordered them for a 13, and they do work. So just have to do a little bit of slight modification. All right, guys, if you like this kind of stuff, like, share, subscribe, And you know, we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. See you. Oh, I first thought of something postscript here. P.S. Don't drive around with your tag lights out, because that's a real good reason for the police, the popo, to stop you. And then it opens up a whole can of worms with talking and all that stuff, because we've had it happen. So yeah, check your tag lights. You'd be amazed how many people's lights are out. And I didn't even realize that once we figured out that this the white 500 here's lights were out, I checked the Abarth and they were out also. So take a look at yours and make sure they're not burned out. See you guys.